All right, welcome. Today, we're diving into the roots, which is the second stage of the 090 living philosophy. This is a really fascinating stage. It's all about where a new impulse is nurtured and how we learn to navigate the incredible duality that comes right along with it. So let's just start with a really big question, something that's at the very heart of this stage. Where does that impulse to create actually begin? That initial spark inside you, where does it really come from? Okay, so here's the deal with stage two. It is this absolutely pivotal moment of transition. It's that point where the quiet, pure potential from stage one, it finally makes its first move. It sparks the whole journey of bringing something new into the world. So first up, let's really explore the essence of this initial spark. What it is and where it comes from. So if you remember stage one, it's all about pure stillness, right? It's kind of like a silent, deep lake of unmanifest potential. It's just a space of quiet observation before anything has really happened yet. And then, boom, stage two is the very first ripple on that lake. It's where all of that profound stillness transforms into dynamic, kinetic, expressive energy. This is literally the beginning of all movement. At its core, stage two is really driven by the archetype of Shakti, this dynamic, creative impulse. Its whole purpose is to take the quiet awareness of stage one and just convert it into raw, vibrant energy. You can think of it as the universe's first little stir, the pulse that kicks off, well, everything. So, what does this powerful creative energy actually feel like in our own lives? Well, this is where the whole idea of duality becomes absolutely crucial. The feeling of being in stage two, you know it when you feel it. It's that sudden surge of intense energy, right? A really powerful desire or emotion that just feels like it's compelling you, pushing you to act. It's pure raw fuel for motivation. I love this quote because it perfectly captures what's happening in your mind during this stage. Notice it's not I think a thought, but I get a thought. That little difference implies a receptive state, where it feels like ideas and impulses are just arriving, coming to us from some greater field of potential. Now, here's the thing. This raw energy is never neutral. It always shows up through a lens of emotional polarity. So on one side, you've got the passion that drives incredible achievement. But on the other, it can become the source of anxiety, fear, and these really destructive reactive cycles. And this brings us right to the central challenge of stage two. We're faced with a really fundamental choice. Are we going to engage with this powerful energy consciously, or are we going to be driven by it unconsciously? You see, without awareness, this raw impulse can keep us in what the philosophy calls Paśu consciousness, which means a bound or almost animalistic state. We just react instinctively, We're driven by the energy without any kind of higher thought or self-awareness. And here's a perfect example of what can happen when that energy isn't channeled. It can feed directly into an anxiety loop. That raw impulse from stage two creates these unstable reactive patterns in stage three, and that can ultimately lead to a feeling of total disintegration later on in the cycle. Or that exact same raw impulse can lead you down a totally different unconscious path. Instead of that erratic expansion, the energy leads to contraction and withdrawal in stage four, and that eventually results in a state of stagnation and, you guessed it, depression. But, and this is a huge but, here is the powerful reframe. Despite all those risks, this very same desire, this raw, untamed impulse, is also the essential starting point for every single great achievement. It is pure, untapped potential. So, if desire is the starting point, how do we actually work with it? This whole next section is about the practice of consciously channeling that energy. The most important mindset shift you can make is this one right here. You have to see this intense emotional energy not as a problem that you need to suppress, but as creative fuel that needs to be directed. The goal is to transform that potential chaos into intentional creation. And luckily, we've got tools for this. You can align that energy with a passionate purpose, what we call your service path. You can use somatic practices like your breath or movement to actually channel it through your body. And you can use vibrational attunement like a mantra to regulate your state and find a sense of harmony. Okay, but what happens if the energy just becomes too intense? This is maybe the most important tool of all. It's like an escape hatch. The key is to consciously step back into that quiet, neutral observation of stage one. You just witness the emotion without becoming it. That simple act can break the entire cycle. All right, so mastering this stage isn't just about managing your emotions. It's actually essential preparation for the next phase of the whole creative cycle. This is such a great metaphor. I want you to think of stage 2 as flipping the switch on a massive power generator. All of a sudden, you have this immense, raw, and totally untamed electrical current. It's pure power, but it's not directed. Yet. And this leads us perfectly into what comes next. Stage 3. That's like the electrician showing up to install all the wiring. It takes that raw current from stage 2 and organizes it, channeling it into useful, stable, and repeatable circuits. And we call those habits and patterns. So, to put it simply, stage 2, with the energy of Shakti, provides the raw desire. Then stage 3, with the energy of Vishnu, uses that desire to build stable habits. See how that works? One provides the fuel, the other one builds the engine. And so that really leaves us with a final thought to sit with. If that deep desire inside you is the raw, potent electricity of creation, what intentional patterns, what life-giving circuits are you consciously choosing to power with it?